You can or anywhere else for that matter with all that situation going on there. Someone coming right here we'd like to get a word from who we've talked to the last couple of weeks and gotten some interesting perspective from Doug Gilbert, and he's here right now. Doug, we've just seen some wild action, and I think everyone knows about the situation that's been going on the last few weeks.
You know, Dave, the last couple of weeks I've come out here, I've been kind of emotional, and I just felt that I need to get a few things off my chest, and that's why it's been like that. But see, I don't think nobody's cursed me, or I don't think the whole world is against me. And see, I don't want anybody out there, anybody watching, I don't want anybody to think that I want anybody's pity or I want anybody to feel sorry for me. Let me tell you, Dave, like I talked about for the last 2 weeks, as of February 18th, my life changed a whole lot. Let me tell you something. So February 18th, like I said for the last couple of weeks, that's my brother, when I was told my brother passed away. And since that day, I know I'm not the only person in the world. I'm sure almost everyone, if not everyone, out there has lost a grandparent, has lost maybe a father, maybe a mother, maybe a sister, maybe even a brother. But let me tell you something, Dave. When you do love someone and you lose a loved one, you always think you've got somebody, or how I am. I can tell you my thoughts about it. It's like I've got Eddie over my shoulder, and I've got him. He's watching me. Every decision I make, Dave, I think twice about it, because I think, is this what Doug wants to do? And I think, is this what Eddie would want Doug to do? And I come out here last week, and I told, Randy Hills called me, and he asked me, he said, Doug, he said, would you be a part of the USWA Super Dream Team? And I'll be honest, Dave, that hit me real hard right here. That hit me real hard inside, and I sat and I thought about it. And I thought, I think that would make Eddie real happy. So I told Randy Hills, I said, yeah, Randy, I'll be part of your Super Dream Team. And I said, what does that consist of? He said, that consists of Jerry the King Lawler. That consists of Bill Superstar Dundee. That consists of Wildfire Tommy Rich. And right there, you name those three names, Dave Brown, and that's three legends around here. You can ask any one of these people right here. They know that. Or I think everyone out there watching this TV show knows that. And then you put with that, you put PG-13, and you put myself, you put Dangerous Doug Gilbert with that bunch. And I think that right there tells you that's three men that's not going to back down, Dave Brown. Not patting nobody on their shoulders. And then you put Brian Christopher, which I've never seen eye to eye with, Dave Brown, but he is one of the toughest men in the world I've ever fought. You put him outside the cage holding the key. And I thought, Dave, there would be not one chance in the world of anything going wrong. See, it seems like this year everything's been betrayal. Everything's been bad. Because, see, I come out here last week, and I told you what meant the world to me, and that's my brother, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. I told you he emulated Jerry Lawler. I told you he watched Jerry Lawler when he was a kid growing up, and he wanted to be just like Jerry Lawler. Well, I don't think, Dave Brown, I don't think you would say it. I don't think there's a person in the world that would say, when you try to be like the person that is the best in the world, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, see, what I did, I stood out here last week, Dave Brown, and I thought it, but I didn't say it. I wanted to dedicate last Monday night to my brother, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, because I knew it would make him real happy, Dave Brown, to see me with his idol, Jerry Lawler, to see me with Bill Dundee, to see me with Tommy Rich. But see, what I wasn't thinking of, Dave Brown, what I really didn't think about Well, yeah, actually, I did think about it. I thought, Billy Jack Haynes, I thought, man, you've got one of the toughest men in the world right there. Whether the people like him, whether you like him, whether I like him, you've got one of the toughest men in the world. And then, on the other foot, you've got primetime Brian Lee. Let me tell you, Dave, I think all these people know Brian Lee. You come out here for weeks and you told everybody how cool me and you was and everything. Well, see, when I sat here last week, I wanted to dedicate that match to my brother, Brian Lee. It was us, the USWA, against them, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Am I right or wrong, Dave Brown?
Exactly right.
Well, see, that made me real happy because I thought I have been one of the chosen ones. I'm one of the ones that Randy Hills has picked to stick up for his company. Well, what seems to happen? We get in that cage. That cage door is locked. Nobody can get in. When we get every single one of those guys handcuffed, what happens, Dave Brown? You know what happened? Brian Lee, my friend, the guy who was going to stick beside me when things were going real bad. Well, what happened, Brian Lee, was you turn your tail and you run. You left every single person that you said, you know, I know the rest of the bunch wasn't your friends. I know I never really considered them my friends. I never really considered Jerry Lawler my friend. And right now, as of today, I don't know if he would say he's my friend or not. But I do have respect for him. But what I can say, Brian Lee, is what you did. You turned your back. You didn't just turn your back on me. You turned your back on every one of these people out here. You turned your back on every single person that watches the USWA and respects it. You turn your back. I guess you forgot who writes your paycheck out every week, who signs his name on it, and that would be Randy Hill. You turn your back on him. You turn your back on me. And when you turn your back on me, now I'm considering you are turning your back on the whole USWA. So, Brian Lee, let me give you a little hint of what's going to happen this week. What Randy Hales brought to me and showed me and told me, he said, Doug, if you want this, you'll be the first one to see it, and you can sign it right now. And what it said Doug Gilbert on the top. And on the bottom, it said Primetime Brian Lee, and what it said was First Blood. Do you realize what that means? That means before you leave that Coliseum this week, you're going to be covered in blood, and you're going to be a bloody mess. And see, I didn't say it last week, but I did intend to. I said I was going to dedicate that match last week to my brother. I was thinking it, but I didn't say it. So, Brian Lee, you hurt me. I've been hurting a lot, but you hurt me, boy. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take every single thing that you've ever worked for, and you better hope, if you've got one friend, if you've got a mother, you better kiss her goodbye, because you're going to be a bloody walking mess when I leave you.
Doug Gilbert looking for Primetime Brian Lee. I'm not sure Primetime Brian Lee thought about what he was doing with Doug Gilbert when he turned his back on everybody. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more.